Yasa nuva vadoyaka ne Sindi Vipassanā Yami Jeva Nuyo Janda Ratendi wa Matandita Suga Suvati Sotoja Baba Genji Napasati Ewa Madigunu Vedam Paretan Dhamma Mahe Karaniya Matagu Salena Yanda Sandam Bada Visameja Saka Ujuja Sujuja Suvajoja Samudu Anatimani Sando Sagoja Suvaroja Abhage Joja Sanlugavodi Abhaga Bhagule Sananugeda Naja Kodama Jare Genji Yena Vinyubare Ubavadeyo Sugina Wakemina Hondu Savasata Bhavandu Sugidata Yege Jivana Buddhati Tasawata Varawana Vasisa Miji Marasaka Nugatula Data Vayewa Data Savasata Bhavantu Sugidata Naparo Paranigo Veda Nati Minyeta Gata Jina Ganji Vyarosana Madiga Sinya Ninya Minya Sadoka Mejiya Taniya Buddha Ayusa Eka Buddha Manurake Evam Bisama Buddhesu Manasambhavaye Abharimanam Vidija Samaloka Sami Bhavaye Abharimanam Oda Doja Diriyinja Asambhada Viramasabhada Sayano Yavadasa Vidamido Ida Sadeya Dedeya Brahma Metta Vihara Midamahu Dedeja Nivegama Sambano Kamesu Vineya Geda Nahi Jato Gavaseya Punareti. English translation, read together. By the power of this sutta, a person making effort in metta day and night will sleep soundly, and when he is asleep, he does not have bad dreams. O good people, let us recite this spiritual. One who is skilled in this good and inspired by the ultimate peacefulness of Nirvana should practice three kinds of training. He should be able, upright, very upright, obedient, gentle, and not conceited. To take care of, have few engagement, have light living, have few possession. mature and not impudent, and are attached to the family's devotees. Essential by the wise, may all be happy and safe. May they have happy heart, high spirit. Whatsoever living beings there be, small or fat, round, seen or unseen, those who have been born and those who are yet to be born, may all be exception be happy. Even so, to such extent, towards all beings, that the thoughts of boundless love pervade the whole world, above, below, and across. Free or enmity, whether standing, walking, sitting, or lying down. It is a noble being. If we want to dwell penetrating the state of calm or nirvana, or if we are skilled in our good, we should practice three kinds of training. Yogi should be able, upright, very upright, obedient, gentle, and not conceited. Mm. These are the preliminary part. Yogi's qualities before practicing Metta Bhavana or Vipassanā Bhavana. Sako, Uju, Suju, Suvajo, Chasa, Suvajo, Mudu, and Nati Mani. Can you follow me? Sako, Uju, Suju, Suvajo, Mudu, and Nati Mani. Yogi should be able, upright, very upright, obedient, gentle, and not conceited. Today we go to the Suvacha, obedient. Yogi should be obedient. If you follow the instruction properly, you can gain the benefits. Kaya Kaya Nupasi Viharati, Chaite Chaita Nupasi, Vedanasu Vedanupasi, Chaite Chaita Nupasi, Dhammesu Dhammanupasi. Contemplating the body in the body, feeling in the feeling, consciousness in the consciousness, and Dhamma in the Dhammas. Ardent, clearly comprehending and mindful, and then you can gain the results. You can remove the desire and discontent. You can remove all kinds of mental defilements. At one time, Buddha was staying at the Jidavana monastery in Savatthi, and there was a monk named Puttila. Venerable Puttila was very learned monk. He was the teacher of many students, but Venerable Puttila was not interested in the practice of meditation. So he did not practice meditation. Whenever he came into the presence of the Buddha, Buddha called him Tocha Putila. It is not good. That means vain Putila or useless Putila. Sometimes Buddha used these words for the benefits of the person, for the benefits of the individual. And when it is true, Buddha used this speech. There are six kinds of speech. Speech which is not true, not beneficial, and not liked by others. That kinds of speech Buddha never used because not true, not beneficial. A second speech is the speech that is not true, not beneficial, but liked by others. Buddha never used this speech because the speech is not true and not beneficial. Another speech is the speech which is true but not beneficial and not liked by others. Buddha never used this speech because it is not beneficial. Another speech is the speech which is true but not beneficial and liked by others. Buddha never used this speech because it is not beneficial. Another speech is the speech which is true and beneficial but not liked by others. Buddha used this speech because it is true, it is beneficial but not liked by others. Now Venerable Buddha may not like this speech because Buddha called him vain Putila or useless Putila. The last speech is the speech that is true and beneficial and liked by others. The kinds of speech Buddha use because it is true and beneficial. So among these six speech, Buddha used only two. Speech that is true and beneficial, not liked by others. Speech that is true and beneficial and liked by others. So remember, can you follow me? The speech that is true and beneficial, but not liked by others. The speech that is true and beneficial, liked by others. So that kinds of two kinds of speech Buddha used for the benefits of the person. Now Buddha called Venerable Buddhila vain Buddhila or useless Buddhila. So when he heard the Buddha call him vain Buddhila, Venerable Buddhila was shaken. So he took that hint and tried to practice meditation. Venerable Buddhila went to a place where 30 arahants were living. So he went to the most senior arahants and requested him please teach me a subject of meditation. Putila requested this most senior Arhan. The eldest Arhan thought that Putila might be too proud because he was very learned. So he did not give him instruction but sent Putila to the monk next to him in seniority. Also, that second monk did the same thing, sending Venerable Putila to the monk next to him in seniority. The same thing happened with each monk until he came to the last monk, who was only 7 years old, but who was also an Arhan. Venerable Putila reverentially folded up his hand and asked for meditation instruction. Even though Venerable Putila knew three Pitakas, he was very learned. Now he had no mana, he had no pride, he was obedient, suvajo. So Venerable Putila asked the 7 years old Arahant to give him a subject of meditation. So that 7 years old Arahant said to Venerable Putila, Bande, I am only 7 years old and I am inexperienced. Actually, it is I who must learn from you and not you from me. But the Venerable Putila insisted the young Arhan, please give me instruction for meditation. So the young novice, 7 years old, Arhan, asked Venerable Putila, Pandi, I will teach you meditation. If you follow, if you do whatever I told you, Venerable Putila agreed. Yes, Bande, whatever you told me to do, I will do exactly. A 7-year-old Arahant told him, Bande, there was a pond near where we live. Bande, go into that pond. 7 years old Arahant asked him to go into that pond without asking any question. Venerable Putila just entered into the pond until the edge of his robe got wet. Then the novice, 7 years old Arahant, said, Please, Bande, stop there. And Venerable Putila stopped. After that, the novice was satisfied that now Venerable Putila had no pride in him. Venerable Putila was obedient. He will follow the instruction. Then he told him, Now I will, you have to follow whatever instruction were given to you. Venerable Bodhila, listen to the instruction. A 7-year-old Arahant gave him meditation instruction. Bhante, suppose there is a mount where an iguana or a lizard live. Suppose there are 6 holes in the mount. In order to catch that lizard, you have to close the 5 holes and you have to sit at the 6th hole to catch it when it comes out. That is my instruction for meditation. That means you have to close the 5 senses and you have to act at the mind door, or you have to act with the mind. Rudy 6 door, can you count for me? Eye door, ear door, nose door, tongue door, body door, mind door. So 6 doors we have. So the instruction is you have to close the 5 senses, 5 doors, and you have to act at the mind door. So that is meditation instruction. That much was sufficient for the monk, Venerable Putila, to understand. So what the novice meant was not that you must close your eyes, you must close your ears in order to practice meditation. Even though it may be possible to close your eyes and ears, it is not possible to close your nose, it is not possible to close your tongue, it is not possible to close your body. So what the Arahant meant was that whenever some object is presented to these 5 senses, do not let there be the impulsion stages. Just stop at the decision stage and then go over to the mind door and practice meditation. So there is a meaning. Now what you are practicing is this instruction. So to understand a little bit, can you follow me? Whatever object is presented to these 5 senses, do not let there be the impulsion stage. Do not let there be the impulsion stage. Just stop at the decision stage and then go over to the mind door, go over to the mind door and practice meditation. So that is the meaning what you are practicing now. Actually, Potila had to practice Vipassanā meditation from the beginning. So whenever an object is presented to him, he must try to stop the process of thought at the moment of decision, at the moment of determination, or in Pali it is called Votapana, and not to let go over to the impulsion moments. So the Venerable Bodhila practiced according to this teaching. After some time, Buddha delivered a stanza to Venerable Bodhila. Yoga vijayati bhumi ayoga bhuri sinkhayo. Etan dveda patanyatva bhavaya vibhavaya sa yatata niveseya yata bhuri bhavudati. Buddha gave this stanza. That means wisdom springing from Vipassanā. Wisdom springing from meditation. Without meditation, wisdom wanes. Knowing these two paths of progress and decline, let one conduct oneself so that wisdom may increase. Buddha encouraged with this stanza to Venerable Bodhila. Venerable Bodhila practiced accordingly and he became an Arahant. The teaching is the same as teaching to Venerable Maluja Buddha by the Buddha. Buddha said to Maluja Buddha, Ita te Maluja Buddha, Data Sutta Muda Vinyate Sutta Mesu, Date Data Matam Bhavesati, Sute Sutta Matam Bhavesati, Mute Muta Matam Bhavesati, Vinyate Vinyata Matam Bhavesati. Buddha gave meditation instruction. This instruction is very famous. That means Maluja Buddha, of those things seen, heard, reached, and cognized. In what is seen, there will be only the seen. In what is heard, there will be only the heard. In what is reached, there will be only the reached. In what is cognized, there will be only the cognized. That means as soon as you see, you have to note, you have to capture the seeing. As soon as you hear, you have to capture the hearing. As soon as you reaching, you have to note, you have to capture the reached. As soon as you cognize, you have to capture the cognize. It's very powerful. It is not very easy. So Buddha original words need to be familiar. Can you follow me? Date data madam boisati. Date data madam boisati. Sute Sudamatam Bhavesati. Sute Sudamatam Bhavesati. Mute Mudamatam Bhavesati. Vinyate Vinyatamatam Bhavesati. So this is Buddha original words. Dite Dita Matam Bhavesati. Sute Sutta Matam Bhavesati. Mute Muta Matam Bhavesati. Vinyate Vinyata Matam Bhavesati. In what is seen, there will be only the seen. In what is heard, there will be only the heard. And in what is reached, there will be only the reached. In what is cognized, there will be only the cognized. It is a very short statement, but it is very important. It describes in essence the practice of Vipassanā. Here Buddha said, things seen, heard, reached, and cognized. When Buddha asks question, he asks about 6 kinds of objects: visible object, audible objects, and so on. When describing the practice of Vipassana, Buddha used only 4 words or 4 expressions: data, seen; sutta, heard; Buddha, reached; and vinyata, cognized. Here the words Buddha reached. This word has been translated in English translation as imagined. So that is not correct. Here things that are reached means the smell, the taste, and the touch or tangible object. In Buddhist philosophy, there is a saying that the eye sensitivity and ear sensitivity take these objects before the objects reach them, but the nose, the tongue, and the body take the objects when or after they reach them. That means they take them when these objects come into physical contact with these senses. So these 3, the smell, the taste, and the touch, are called those that are reached, Buddha. So the Pali words Buddha is explained as that which is touched and that which is reached. So to translate it as imagine is quite incorrect. If we are to translate it as imagined, it would be difficult to explain when we come to those that are cognized. So these objects are not imagined objects, they are objects which come into physical contact with the senses. So it should be translated as Buddha, reached, or maybe even touched. But touch may mean only the tangible things. So reach is the best translation of the Buddha. Dite Dita Madambhavesati, Sute Sutta Madambhavesati, Mute Mutta Madambhavesati, Vinyate vinyata matamboisati. Let there be seeing with regard to what is seen. Let there be hearing with regard to what is hearing, etc. Of those things seen, heard, reached, and cognized, in what is seen, there will be only the seen. Data matter. That means when you see something, you must stop just at what is seen. That means you must not put any value on it, or you must not put any color to it, or anything added to it. Like when you see the visible object, you take it to be beautiful, you take it to be ugly, you take it to be permanent, you take it to be satisfactory, and you take it to be substantial, and so on. If you do not take the visual object as permanent or good or substantial, and you just stop at what is seen, then you are said to be observing the object correctly. In what is seen, that means with regard to what is seen, there will be only the seen. So meditation, Satipatthana instruction, you understand. Kaya Kaya Nupasi Virati, you contemplate the body in the body, which is impermanent, suffering, and non-self, and ugly. Don't take it to be beautiful. Don't take it to be ugly, or don't take it to be permanent, or don't take it to be satisfactory or substantial. Take the body, which is impermanent, suffering, and non-self, and ugly, as impermanent, suffering, non-self, and ugly. So the commentary explained this statement. The first explanation is just as translated here. In what is seen, there will be only the seen, only the seen, only the object which is seen, and no other coloring or whatever on that object. As soon as you see the object, you capture the seeing, you capture the visible object. Only the object which is seen, and no other coloring or whatever on that object. It is just the visible object. You just note seeing, and you capture the visible object. Another explanation is, according to the explanation, the seeing data means seeing consciousness. As soon as you see it, you just note seeing, What you capture? You capture the seeing consciousness. The object enter to the avenue of the eye sensitivity, and then seeing consciousness arises. You capture that momentary arising of seeing consciousness. When your concentration getting strengthened, you capture the kinds of seeing consciousness. When you see something, there is consciousness in your mind. With that mind, you are set to see. The seeing consciousness is here called the seeing, data. Buddha clearly mentioned, data matamboisati. Let there be seeing. With regard to what is seen, the seeing consciousness is called data, the seeing. What is meant here is with regard to what is seen, there must be only the seeing. There will be the measure of seeing consciousness and nothing more, or there will be the impulsion stage, which has the same quality or same nature as the seeing consciousness. Now, Venerable Botila practice according to this teaching. So it is possible to practice these instructions and to stop the flow of the moments of consciousness from reaching to the impulsion stage. It is very difficult. As soon as you see, as soon as you hear, sometimes concentration is not very strong. You cannot capture the seeing consciousness. You cannot capture the visible object, audible object, and so on. Here the instruction is stop the flow of the moments of consciousness from reaching the impulsion stage. It is very, very difficult. So Meditator have been practicing 2 months, trying to gain momentum. You need a lot of practice, patience and perseverance to capture the kinds of seeing consciousness, hearing consciousness, visible object, audible object, and so on. Just momentary appearance of the kinds of namarupa, you try very continuously. That is what the Buddha meant when he said, Dikte dikta matamboisati. There will be only the seeing with regard to what is seen, with regard to what is heard, there will be only the heard. So when you hear something, stop at just hearing. Do not take it as permanent. Do not take it as pleasing. Do not take it as displeasing. Just stop at hearing. Just stop with the hearing consciousness. Hearing consciousness now occurring and disappearing very fast. So stop with the hearing consciousness after the decision consciousness and let it go there. Here also will it be possible to stop at hearing and not go over to the impulsion stage? Yes, it is possible. But again, it is very difficult because we are used to hearing sounds and making judgment on these sounds, so much so that it is almost impossible for us to stop at just hearing. Hearing is also a very complex process. It is not just one moment of hearing. There are different moments of hearing. There are different moments of consciousness, different moments of thoughts involved in one act of hearing. Now, when you hear something, when you hear some noise, you don't just hear the noise, you also determine where the noise comes from, who noise it is, how far it is, from which direction it comes, whether it's come from a faraway place or a nearby place, the sounds of the birds, the sounds of the squirrel, sounds of the ambulance, somebody coughing, whether it's come from a faraway place or nearby place. Also, if you are familiar with the sound, you can determine if it is the sound of an engine, sounds of the car, sounds of the person, the sounds of the animal, and so on. All these your mind computes in just a fraction of a second. Then you can say that you hear the sounds of an aeroplane, a car, and so on. If you are familiar with the noise of a car, you can even determine which make of a car it is. It is Toyota or Tesla. In a fraction of a second, you can compute all these things in your mind very, very quickly. You do not hear just the sound or noise, but you also hear all these details. So in hearing a sound, there runs the same series of thought process. When we practice meditation, we very, very concentrate, we very focus and restrain all the senses. We try to stop at just hearing. We should be able to stop at just hearing and not just what is heard and not go over to the impulsion stage. It is difficult, but when diligent for diligent meditators, it is possible. When we talk about these things, the working of the mind, we have to magnify things so we can understand well. Just as when scientists explain about the structure of an atom, they use illustration that they magnify maybe billions of times. In the same way, we have to magnify thought moments billions of times so that we can see or we can understand the working of the mind. With regard to the heart, there will be only the heart. With regard to the reach, there will be only the reach. When we smell something, when we taste something, when we touch something, there are also these kinds of thought process. With regard to cognize, vinyata, there will be only the cognize. Cognize here means those cognized by mind and not directly by the five senses. So the instruction here is just be mindful. Applying mindfulness with diligence constantly so that you can stop at just what is seen, what is heard, and so on. So to capture the true nature, to capture the reality of mind and matter arising and disappearing, you are practicing seriously. So the instruction, you need to be obedient, follow correctly. Can you follow me? Just be mindful. Applying mindfulness with diligence constantly so that you can stop at just what is seen, what is heard, and so on. So you practice diligently, and when your concentration and mindfulness getting strengthened, when you reach the stage of Binganyana and Sankaripikanyana, knowledge of dissolution and knowledge of the equanimity, you can really stop at just what is seen and what is heard and so on. That is because if we cannot stop there, if we cannot stop at just what is seen, we will surely reach the stage of impulsion and also later stages of seeing, hearing, and so on. So we need to stay in our own domain, own territory, own satipatthana domain. We will not come to any harm. Nobody can harass us if we stay in the satipatthana domain. But when we leave our domain of Vipassana, we may be harassed. So Buddha said, live in your own domain of Satipatthana. And so we will have attachment or aversion or delusion with regard to all these objects. When there is aversion, when there is attachment, there will be what we call karma formation. When there are karma formation, to there are bound to be becomings or rebirths. So this cycle of suffering goes on and on and on if we cannot stop at just what is seen, what is heard, and so on. So in order to stop these rounds of rebirth from going rounds and rounds and rounds and round, we have to do something at the moment of seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, and knowing. Vipassanā. Vipassana is concerned with primarily what is at the present moment. For a Vipassana practitioner, the present moment is the most important, especially in the beginning stages. meditators only takes care of what is at the present moment. Later on, when you reach the higher stages, you may practice Vipassana on things of the past, things of the future. However, you cannot practice on things of the past and things of the future if you have no direct experience of the present, if you have no direct knowledge of the impermanence, suffering, and non-self of the present. So what is important is to see the present as impermanent, suffering, and non-self. From the impermanence of the present things, you infer that the past must be impermanent and the future must be impermanent. What is important for the Vipassana yogis is the present moment. You must not lose mindfulness at any moment. That is because if you lose mindfulness at any moment, you will grasp as the things that you see or that you hear. When there is grasping, when there is upadana, there are karma formation, sankara, and so on. So it is important not to miss to note anything when it is present. Once it is grasped by way of attachment or wrong view, it has already been grasped and we cannot undo it. So what is important for the yogis is the present moment. If you capture the presently arising object, you can capture the true nature of mind and matter, their impermanent nature, suffering nature, and non-self nature. All the reality are at the present moment, present object. So we cannot afford to miss to know anything which is at the present moment. When we pay attention to what is at the present moment, we don't have to worry about what is past or what is in the future. So Buddha advised us to live in the present moment, to take care of what is in the present moment. So we have to apply mindfulness, concentration, and wisdom with diligence. What we are doing is in this 2 months retreat is this method. When you reach the stage of Vipassana knowledge where you see the dissolution of phenomena, Pinkanyana, knowledge of dissolution, and also when you reach the higher stages of Vipassana knowledge, Sankaripikanyana, knowledge of equanimity, you will be able to stop at only what is seen and not let it go over. Dite dita madamboisati, sute sutta madamboisati, mute muta madamboisati, vinyate vinyata madamboisati. Let there be seeing with regard to what is seen, let there be hearing with regard to what is heard, let there be reaching with regard to what is reached, and let there be cognized with regard to what is cognized. So we will continue next time. We have to stop our discussion for today by practicing Vipassana meditation by observing every phenomena occurring at the six senses according to the data, sutta, mutta, vinyata, data, madamboisiti, etc. May all yogis be liberated from all suffering. May all meditators realize the real peace in the very near future.